A very good afternoon to you. This is the ITV News channel, and there's just one story dominating our news coverage this afternoon. There's been a series of massive explosions near Hemel Hempstead in Hertfordshire. It happened at the Buncefield oil depot, the fifth largest in the UK, at around 6 o'clock this morning. The M1 motorway 10 miles away has been closed in both directions because of the thick black smoke that's hanging in the air. These dramatic pictures give you an indication of the size and power of the explosions, which were felt up to 40 miles away, sending flames shooting 200 feet into the early morning sky. Nearby homes have been badly damaged, windows shattered and doors blown off their hinges. Many people have been evacuated from their homes. Police say at this stage they believe it was an accident and they're not linking the explosion to any act of terrorism. It's believed there were only a small number of workers on the site at the time. Police say there are around 36 casualties, some thought to be local residents. 4 people are seriously injured. Police say the fire could carry on for days. They're warning people in the area to stay indoors. And from space, an extraordinary satellite picture of Britain clearly visible in the bottom right-hand corner, a black cloud of smoke covering hundreds of miles. Keir Simmons has more now on today's developments.
The explosions could be heard 40 miles away. The first happened just after 6 this morning.
The heat from here is unbelievable. You can really feel the heat.
An amateur cameraman risked his own safety to film these pictures.
This whole building here, completely gone. No windows left, nothing. This building here, look at the state of this building. And still, one tank is still to go. Still not gone. Let's hope to God that doesn't go while I'm standing here.
Inevitably, thoughts turned to terrorism. In fact, the police say they are treating this as an accident. Still, 36 people are injured, 4 seriously.
There was just a mighty explosion, and it was just like air going through the whole house. It just shook.
The door fell off in my bedroom, the house shook, the windows in my mum's bedroom got blown out, the downstairs patio door got blown out.
The force of the explosion evident in street after street of this normally quiet corner of Hertfordshire.
I came downstairs and found my front door here lying on the stairs, completely blown off its hinges. I came to look outside, saw a few other of the people in the vicinity gathering, and then saw the flames, as you can see, over the far side.
Around 100 police officers and as many firefighters are at the scene, though there will have been more arriving, because the Buncefield depot stores many forms of fuel. A major concern is now the heavy smoke that is pouring into the atmosphere.
Our very strong advice is that people must keep out of the plume of smoke. And if the windows of your house have been blown out or are damaged, then we would suggest that you should evacuate yourself to somewhere safer. Our advice to the public, the best advice we can give at this moment, is that you should stay indoors, close your windows and watch the news for updates.
Hundreds of people have been evacuated from their homes and are sheltering at a makeshift centre in Jarman's Park on the outskirts of Hemel Hempstead.
It was very frightening. I thought maybe it was a plane crash or a bomb.
People have left their homes with very little time to gather belongings, waiting now until this huge blaze can be extinguished. Keir Simmons, ITV News.
Well, let's take a look now at a live picture of the City of London. The skyline darkened very visibly by a pall of black smoke drifting from west to east from the Hemel Hempstead area across London. Remember, police in the Hemel Hempstead area have advised residents to stay indoors because of the contents of the actual smoke, obviously irritants that could be inhaled. But as you see, it's drifting straight across London. Already there's been fog this morning. This has kind of added to that as well. But as you can see, a very, very gloomy picture across the City of London right at this very moment. And our reporter, Shuli Ghosh, is about half a mile away from the actual scene of the explosion. She says the effects of the blast have been felt over a wide area.
Residential street, which is separated from the refinery by just a field, and as you can see, there's been a lot of damage here too. Windows blown in, doors blown right off their hinges. A lot of repair work going on here right now. With me is Peter and Leslie McCabe. This is your house, your door that's been blown off. What happened?
Well, around 6 o'clock this morning, we were woken by an almighty blast. And as we all came running out of bedrooms, there was sort of still a gush of air coming up the stairs to find the door actually in the hallway. And we all sort of came rushing out, and everybody was doing the same thing at the same time. And we realised it was sort of right down the street, really.
Everybody must have come rushing out of the houses at the time.
All around about the same time. Yeah, it was just after 6 o'clock this morning. So quite a rude awakening.
Peter, is it worrying that you live, I mean, you're separated by a field from the main blast, and you can see the black cloud hanging over it. Is that worrying being so close?
Well, not really, well, we're still getting the explosions. We've had the odd explosions since then, and that's a bit worrying, mainly. We've had 2 explosions this morning. There was 3 after the main blast this morning, then we've had another 2.
Another couple since, isn't there? Yeah.
What did you think had happened?
Originally, I thought it might have been a plane come down, because we did think something had hit the
It was
top of
that
the house.
loud?
It was that loud, yes. I've never heard anything like it. And you could see the flames in the field, and that was my initial reaction. But we found out since it's the depot, which is surprising.
OK, Peter and Leslie McCabe, thank you very much. The clean-up operation is still going on in here. I can tell you that Hertfordshire Police are trying to keep people well away from the area, and so much so that they've actually drafted in a battalion of Metropolitan Police officers who've come up from London and are helping to cordon off all the surrounding streets. It's very difficult to get around Hemel Hempstead at the moment, and it's impossible to get any closer to the refinery than we are at the moment. The other thing that is happening is that people are panic buying petrol. Now, as I drove up to Hemel Hempstead from the Watford area this morning, I could see all the forecourts absolutely jam-packed with people queuing to try and get petrol into their cars. And I'm being told, I haven't had this confirmed, but I'm being told that 1 or 2 petrol stations have actually run out of fuel because people are so worried that the impact of the blast on this oil refinery means that there will be no petrol available in this area for the foreseeable future. Now, the authorities are saying that's not the case, and there won't be a shortage of petrol, but of course people are worried that there will be a fuel shortage, so there is a lot of panic buying going on, and the message from the authorities is not to do that if at all possible. The other important message that people are being told is to stay out of the cloud. Now, while we've been here, the cloud has moved. It's actually changed direction. It's coming more eastwards now, but that cloud does have irritants in it. People are being told, if their windows and doors have been blown in, to cover up their windows and doors and to stay indoors. Now, of course, people aren't doing that. I don't know if you can see behind me, but people are out on the roads looking at the blast and looking at the flames, which 6 hours later are still shooting into the air. And that's the situation here, about half a mile from the refinery.
Police have set up a casualty bureau number for people wanting information about relatives. That number is 0800 096 0095. That's 0800 096 0095. They've also advised that anyone feeling unwell should contact NHS Direct. The number to call is 0845 4647. That's the NHS Direct hotline, which is 0845 4647. And if you were nearby when the accident happened, then please send us your pictures. You can either email them to us to the address yourvideo@itv.com. That's yourvideo@itv.com. Or you can send us still photos or video pictures via an MMS message on your mobile phone. The number is 07738 100 200. That's 07738 100 200. And here are some we've already received from viewers today. Colin Hobday, a resident in the Hemel area, was about half a mile from the fire when he took this video of the flames and plumes of smoke shortly after the explosion. We've also been speaking to people who live very close to the site of the blast. They spoke of being woken up by the noise of the explosion.
I was in bed at 6 o'clock and then I heard this almighty bang, and then the door fell off in my bedroom. The house shook. The windows in my mum's bedroom got blown out, the downstairs patio door got blown out, and everyone just woke up and was outside the street trying to find what happened. Obviously, the big fire, which is just literally a 5-minute walk from my house.
I was awoken at about 5 to 6 this morning, thinking that it was another recurrence of an earthquake that happened about 3 years ago, a little rumble, and in the background just heard shattering windows and car alarms and stuff such like going off. I came downstairs and found my front door here lying on the stairs, completely blown off its hinges.
Just after 6 this morning, a massive bang. Opened my eyes, basically saw the curtains blow up into the air, massive light. Obviously shot out of bed, looked out the window and just saw what looked like flames, but I couldn't quite see where they were. Just looked up, put the light on, just glass absolutely everywhere, all over the whole room. Came downstairs, struggled to get the front door open because the impact had sort of jolted the door, and then saw the sheer devastation of actually looking at the front of the house. Obviously it was still pitch black, so you couldn't see everything, and it was just a nightmare really, walking out here and seeing everyone out here just trying to see what actual damage there is to the houses.
The oil depot affected by today's explosions in Hemel Hempstead is one that supplies aviation fuel to airports in the southeast of England. Both Heathrow and Luton airports say there's no threat to supplies for aircraft. A Heathrow spokesperson says they're also able to get aviation fuel from a separate facility, and there's no indication there'll be any shortage in the foreseeable future. However, the smoke from the explosions has led to some flight cancellations at Heathrow today. Luton Airport is reporting no delays. A Luton spokeswoman says the main problem is the closure of the M1 near the airport. Passengers are advised to leave a lot of extra time and follow diversions to the airport. Well, Dan Rivers is at the police station in Welwyn Garden City where the operation is being directed.
Yeah, they've had a briefing here this morning to give us an update on the situation. As Shuli was saying, at the moment they're saying it appears this was an accident, although they're saying they're keeping an open mind. They have 100 officers deployed at the scene, 100 police officers deployed at the scene and 100 firefighters. I was just talking to some police officers, though, who are arriving here now. I would think pretty much every policeman in the area is being drafted in to help put the cordon in place, to help evacuate homes and to try and secure the area. As we've heard, 36 people injured and 4 seriously. There is, though, a big concern about this cloud of fumes that are coming off the oil depot. We drove through it. It's certainly pretty thick. In fact, when I set out this morning, I could see it from West London. That gives you an idea of how extensive it is. We spoke earlier on to the Chief Constable of Hertfordshire Police, Frank Whitley. This is what he had to say about that cloud of fumes.
This cloud, not least because it contains heavy smoke, is an irritant and will certainly make people who inhale it potentially cough, potentially irritate their eyes and potentially feel nauseous. Our very strong advice is that people must keep out of the plume of smoke, and if the windows of your house have been blown out or are damaged, then we would suggest that you should evacuate yourself to somewhere safer. Our advice to the public, the best advice we can give at this moment, is that you should stay indoors, close your windows and watch the news for updates.
Well, the police have given out a couple of numbers if you are concerned about people here. There is a number if you're concerned about relatives or friends who may have been injured, a casualty bureau number. That number is 0800 096 0095. That casualty bureau number, 0800 096 0095. And the police are saying if you're feeling unwell from the thick fumes that are coming off, you should ring NHS Direct, and that number is 0845 46 47. That number again, 0845 46 47. Of course, there's massive disruption in the area. The M1 is closed. There's talk about possible disruption at Luton Airport and at Heathrow Airport. And we've already seen on the way down here that people are panic buying petrol already. Obviously, concerns that with the massive amount of fuel going into this place, there may be shortages of petrol. Of course, the police are urging people not to panic and not to create huge traffic jams at petrol stations, as we've seen just up the road here.
Dan Rivers there. Coming up next on the ITV News channel, more on the enormous blast that rocked the residents of Hemel Hempstead this morning. Police are urging residents to stay indoors with windows closed as a large plume of smoke drifts across south of England. We'll have the latest from the area next.